What do we got here? What do we got here? What do we got here? You know what? We'll use this one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, and welcome to the fun edition of GNF Televisable. And anything that feats our fancies and anything that we want to talk about is usually on this show. And as usual, I'm your hosties with the mosties. I am the Canadian Rogue, better known as Robert Kumitz, and I wish you guys the best of luck to find me. I'm the hosties with the mosties, and this is, me being here waiting for people to show up. That's right. That's right. I have sent up my invites. I wish to wait to find out. Maybe I should send one to that weird thing known as Dragon. Where is Dragon in this list? Is it where is Dragon in my list? Oh, look at that! I have a Sparky who's not in space. Hello, Sparky. How you doing?
What's up?
Not much. The same old, same old. Oh, there is some grand news for me, anyways. So,
Oh,
yes. So I am usually employed, right? Usually, yes.
You've been fired.
Actually, kind of weird. Yes and no. So,
You have
let's
been let go and promoted.
Well, you're right in one aspect. So basically, what happened is we ended up losing the contract for the building that I was taking care of.
Again.
And so I was put in a very weird position of what was considered a floater. But I wasn't given a lot of opportunities for employment while working for said company, my contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they kind of ghosted me. So I updated my resume and all that kind of stuff because I wasn't too sure what was going on. Everything sounded fishy. They were leading me with they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna find you a new spot. Yes, you're gonna be a new building manager to this different building. We're just working on a few bugs. We're restructuring the company. Blah 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 blah. All the excuses, the classic excuses. And so I ended up getting, no word of a lie, like 20 different offers of different buildings and people looking for my services. I'm like, okay. So I ended up chit-chatting with one new company, and they hired me on the spot. So I have a
Cool.
new building with massive increase in pay and a huge health plan that supplements some of the secondary health plan that we have here in British Columbia. But yeah, it all looking good for me, and I have a team of people underneath me. It's not just me dealing with the building all by my lonesome. I've moved on up.
No more having to deal with people pissing in elevators and setting mattresses on fire.
We'll have to find out, but I don't have to deal with that shit currently. As well as I'm going to be like the prime business residential area of the downtown Vancouver area. I'm like, oh, brilliant. There was like one building I was kind of curious about, and lo and behold, I'll be working for that building.
Cool.
So it's
Glad
like,
to hear that.
okay. So yeah, it's like as well as the funny thing is that the other company that I worked with, or still kind of on the up there in limbo with, they're still saying that yeah, we're still looking for a spot for you, but if you find a different offer, we're not going to stop you from taking it.
So let me guess. Are you gotta string them along and see if they come up with an offer better than what you got now?
Yes. Yes. Well, technically, it's illegal for them for what they did to me because they should have just straight out said we're letting you go, or whatever. So all I did was tell them like I had an offer, but still waiting for you to find out. So
Gotcha.
I legally I don't have to tell them I quit. There's nothing that prevents me from having multiple
I
jobs.
mean, well, legally they'll let you go.
Yeah, legally, they should have told me that. Should have told me right straight up, but they did. They just let me on. So I'll let my government, my portion of my provincial government, deal with that. They could have fun with that because that could cost them a lot of money, as well as their the license of operations. So yes. So that was priceless. That was fucking priceless. But yeah, no, I'm actually kind of stoked to kind of start Wednesday, so I've got some time off. Yay! Uh, but yeah, no, full time. I looked at the health package. It was like insane. I get a quarter of a million coverage on life insurance, as well as it can be shared. There's a lot of other things that came with. Hell, I get my eyeglasses, covered, and a few other different things. So it's like, wow,
You wear
this is different.
glasses?
Yes, I was like, oh my god, this is weird. I've never had this before.
I never took you for the kind of wearing glasses.
Yes, I do. I wear glasses. Yes,
And it's like,
it's kind of part of the actual gimmick.
so well, and here's what a lot of people need to understand. I've never seen Rogue's face. I've only seen Rogue's hands.
Yes, yes. One day I'll give you the privilege, but you I haven't I have unofficially seen Pan because she accidentally left her camera on once while we were hanging out,
I've seen Penn.
and she doped up pretty quick, and then this
Everyone in GNF, I have seen their faces.
this
The only one except you.
this so no, I tend to keep myself kind of anonymous, but we've been chilling for a while. I think I'll give you the privilege. So
Yeah,
yeah, but no, it
I think I've shown I'm trustworthy enough.
no fuck yes. So it's like it's Pan barely actually Pan doesn't really know. She knows who I am, like name wise, because I'm waiting for a fucking mug. But she really not too sure how I look. So yeah, so
I know your unofficial, official, non-official name.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. So so there you go. So it's not hard to find. I'm unfortunately I'm on Facebook if you really wanted to figure it out. But yes, and I have a lovely parent who likes to plaster me up there for whatever reason. But no, I will send you an update on my resume that way because it comes with a picture. Yay!
Uh,
I also do like that's the other thing. I also tweak resumes and that for a lot of people. Yeah, no cost, and it has given them a lot of opportunities that they didn't have before because I kind of focus on their strength and not on the weaknesses, and kind of build off of their strengths so that
oh God,
an
it's like
employee.
last time I redone my resume was 2012.
Oof, oof.
Well, I haven't had the need to.
No, I get that. No, the same thing for me. It's like I didn't really need to update the resume, and then all of a sudden I saying, "Oh fuck it, I'll just update it and put it up there in my LinkedIn." And then all of a sudden I had like
If it,
garage.
yeah, if anything, the skills and training and everything I've acquired since working where I'm at now, since 2012 to now,
Yeah.
if anything, puts my previous resume to shame.
Oh no, I wouldn't put it past it.
So,
No, I wouldn't put it past it
but
because I appreciate it.
yeah, I have no need or want to
No, I get it. I totally
change
get it.
resumes and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
My kiddo was standing at candies.
Okay.
Oh, was you looking for them?
I
Yeah, where'd you find that?
In the cupboard. Like I asked you to look.
Which cupboard?
Time were you? We had it last time in the kitchen.
Babe, all right. So the food pantry. Okay, say food pantry, not cupboard.
Oh, okay.
Because I also call the cabinets above the washer and dryer cupboards.
I'm pretty sure I said the one in the kitchen.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
How many more we got? I assume we had 3 more.
Let me double check. Well, it was 2.
All right.
Jeez.
Very light, right?
Gotta love it. Actually, no. I was gonna send the.
Oh my god, I'm fucking blind.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna have to send the dragon a personal invite. See if he's actually.
I was
Oh, there he is. You were what? You were what?
I mean, not 100% what I was thinking, but
See,
3.
see.
All right.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah. No, my wife was telling me she found I buy those damp red containers, you know, they have the desiccant balls in them, and you know, you put them up, they absorb moisture and they help keep the humidity in the house down. I usually keep 1 or 2 in the food pantry because you know we keep, you know, food,
No, you will.
canned
You would
goods,
have to because
breads
you have a
and
lot
stuff
of
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought I had 3 of them, which I was right. I did. I just didn't know where I put them, and they were in the pantry. Where I thought they were, but I couldn't find. But also, to be fair, the pantry's been stuck full and unorganized, and it's like I wasn't about to begin to look or tear it apart to look for them. It's like
Sure.
not that important.
No, I totally get it. No. Yes.
But no, it's like, for me, it's like, I've been at my job for, I said 2012, 2013.
Uh-huh.
It's been well over 10 years, 12,
Oh, yeah.
13 years now. So it's like, and the way I'm looking at it is like, look, I'm up in my 40s. I've got a family. And even before then, I'm not a big person that goes job to job.
No,
I don't like that.
I have, especially during my younger years. So it kind of gave me a lot of different experiences in that. As I aged out, I kind of slowed down from jumping from point to point. I usually wait until the contract either ends or we part ways before jumping to the next thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, younger growing up is like, the first job I had fresh out of high school and diesel tech school was a fleet service job at I know I've said it before in the past, but I don't want to say it because doxing and stuff like that. But it was a really well reputable large fleet that operated in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. That's all I'll say. And it was a really big, really well-known fleet. And I was with them for about technically I was with them for over a year.
All right.
Officially it was about 6 or so months because the first 6 months of my employment was through temp service, and the only reason why it's through temp service is because it was an OJT to start. So on the job training for credits for my tech schooling, and since I was still in high school, and only reason why I could do this is because I was also 18. Whenever I joined high school or joined school program, I joined at like an odd time, so it actually caused me to be a year behind where I was supposed to be, because I turned 18 whenever I went into my actual senior year. So I was already the age of 18 by the time I was in 12th grade.
All right,
So
that sounds kind of normal usually.
yeah. So I was already 18, and because I was already 18, technically I was an adult and I could. I just didn't have my high school diploma yet.
Yeah, no, again,
So
in Canada,
the
kind of usually our graduation time
yeah,
frame is usually 18,
yeah.
19.
Now, to preference this, the fleet did not have to do this because
Uh,
it's not in their protocol to do it. They hire
right.
flat out.
Yeah.
But they worked with me, and the way they worked with me was going for a temp service because I can technically do that for a temp
Yeah.
service without a high school diploma. So after I got my diploma, I got to get hired in full time.
Nice. Nice.
So, no, a year, so about a year there. I had about 2 years at a dealership.
Uh-huh.
I had about 5 years at a lube shop.
So you know how to lube
After
things up pretty well.
that, well, it's one sort of it was a TA.
Still, the joke's still there.
It
It's
was
still-
yeah, it was a TA. So it was just your basic maintenance shop, doing tires, brakes, oil changes, not major in-depth work like you would at a dealership, but it was something. And then from there, I worked at a dealership, and I've been there ever since. So it's each job I've had progressively longer and longer and longer. Just luckily, this has been the job that's hit and stuck the most. So
yeah. So that's usually how that works. It's usually how that works. Yeah, not everybody's as lucky as either myself or you getting into different positions or getting opportunities like that. But
I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be a lead tech in the shop, but I'm lead
that
tech in the shop.
is kind of the
And it also comes with its
reality.
own headaches.
No,
So,
honestly,
well, I got a crazy story once you get done.
no, go for it. Continue. What's the story?
So at the shop, we also deal with new truck sales, and our dealership is a franchise of the dealer.
Uh-huh.
So it's some places do it differently, but the way we do it is we are considered a franchise of the brand that we sell and work for.
Makes
So
sense.
from there, you have salesmen, stuff like that, and they'll either do individual sales. What they like to do is the big fleet sales because that's where they get the most money from. You get a lot more commission, selling 300 trucks at a time to a fleet than what you do to individual people.
Yeah.
So, and we had one of them, the new 2026 trucks have a new style auto start system in the vehicle to where in the bunk you can turn on, you activate the auto start, and the bunk you can control it with a control.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyways, you could control it with the control panel in the bunk to turn on for like AC.
Uh-huh.
So if the temperature is at certain, like 85 is the max temperature, 60 is the max below temperature. So if it's like you preset it, you want it to cool to 60 degrees, it'll auto start the truck and bypass the idle shutdown settings.
Okay.
And continue on until the bunk is around whatever temperature you set it at, and it'll maintain that. So it will start, stop to keep that temperature in the bunk. Same thing with the heater. It's got a S-bar or Webasto style heater, so a fuel heater that's not ran off the truck itself. It's like a little mini jet engine. It's a German heater is what it is.
Yeah.
But
very professional.
and that same system operates that thing. Well, one of the salesmen sold about 50 trucks to a small fleet.
Nice.
And they had them all spec'd out to have this feature. Well, the salesman sold 30 trucks of the 567 variant, and then 20 trucks with the 589 variant.
It doesn't
Well,
sound
it's the model number of the truck.
No, no, I
So
know, but
567
we have
5.
that level of variance. Usually, it doesn't sound good because there's usually a feature that's missing.
Astute thinking there, Rogue. Very, very astute thinking there, Rogue, and that's okay, exactly what happened. Well,
Jesus Christ!
it is, and it isn't. So
It's still,
when the 589 trucks first came out,
uh-huh.
they did not have this feature in the truck
Jeez,
until
okay.
about 6 months after production.
Ah,
6 months after production, they started having it as a feature in the truck that you can add in. The
okay.
problem is the salesman who's supposed to be good at his job and check out the boxes and make sure that the sales sheet is
He
correct.
did notice it, yeah.
He just figured it was an all check boxes deal and didn't see that these trunny trucks didn't have that feature involved. So when they got ordered, they didn't have that feature into them.
Oh, yeah, no.
And guess what got taxed onto me?
Installing all those nice little,
Figuring out what I had to do it. This has
Yeah.
been like a 2-month process.
Nice.
Because you got to deal with engineering, you got to deal with
yeah.
the back end, you got to deal with sales, you got to deal with product codes. You got to go through, you got to figure out what all is involved to make this system work. So we were able to figure out that the harnesses are compatible, and we can get what's called a high resolution layer harness.
All right.
And basically what that is you can, when you pre-order a truck, the harnesses, way before long ago days in the past, when you bought a truck, especially Peterbilt,
Yeah.
it come with all the features. And even if it didn't have all the features, it was there. All they had to do is just get the parts, plug, play, and be done with it. Well, modern day, society and trying to cut away on trucks and price stuff like that. If you don't have the feature, it's not incorporated into the harness no more. It's the same harness, it just has that part of the harness removed. So you gotta figure out what layers you have to have in for the harness, and you can order that individual layer.
Speaking of individual layers, hello, Dragon. How you doing? He's dead.
Buzzing.
I know.
I had to. No, it did the dumb thing of resetting my my shit
It does.
to
It does.
which I don't fucking get.
I honestly can't explain
That's
it to you
a
because
Dragon.
Jetpack has the same issue.
No, it's like every fucking time I use this thing.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it's the same thing with Jetpack. So it's I cannot explain it to you. If I could, I would. I unfortunately can't.
But anyways,
Yes.
along with that,
Huh?
so I had to put that layer harness into the sleeper harness. So I had to figure out what on the sleeper I had to take apart to put the harness in. Now I had to figure out what 60 wires I had to plug in. What things I had to install, and then what things I had to program.
You're a lucky man.
Yep. So all in all, we quoted about 20 hours for the first truck because we didn't know what it was going to entail.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going over 30 hours because I couldn't get the stupid S-bar heater to work. And I fought that S-bar heater for about 2 days, pulling my hair out, trying to figure out what the fuck, why is this thing not running? And come to find out, because we all overlooked it, me, the engineers overlooked this too, so I don't feel that bad. There is a parking brake socket wire that goes from the cab to this controller. Jeez. And we overlooked it because everything else in the sleeper worked for the auto start feature. So you figure, hey, if it's a socket wire that goes to this controller and everything else is working on it, it can't be that. Well, it turns out that only tells the S-bar heater that the truck's not moving. It does not work for anything else. And I accidentally miswired
the
God
pin
damn.
Well, no. So here's the reason why I got miswired, because the high resolution layer comes with that socket number, with that
Alright.
wire, but it's already in the harness. So I depinned where it needed to go between the sleeve and the cab harness. Got that one right, but I forgot to do the one up where it goes into the control.
Nice.
So the
Okay.
entire time trying to fight it, and it couldn't come on. It's because the truck thought it was moving. And
Damn.
the nice thing about this whole fucking deal, and the takeaway from it is, whenever they put out a feature from factory,
Yes.
they don't know what the hell goes into it, or even the fucking engineers for that matter. Because one of the things I got tasked to do is to make sure all these trucks work before we started tearing into them, because there's no sense in adding something to a truck that
Yeah.
the feature doesn't work.
Correct.
Well, the truck we got, hey, the auto start doesn't work on it. So I had to figure that one out. And here's how we went about doing that one. Getting a hold of, advanced diagnostics. Hey, we have this issue on this truck. I went through the basics and it's not working. Here's what happens. You engage the auto start. It does its 3, 2, 1 countdown. Goes for its little checks and then pops up on the dash. Auto start disabled because engine warning.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Well, you look into the engine. Well, there's no warning or codes at all.
Alright.
Okay, you go through and there is a interlock diagnostic. So what the diagnostic does is it goes through all of its little checks and interlocks to make sure that everything's working fine, and it gives you a pass or no pass. Every one of the interlock features work on it. Okay, so going from there, walking down, the warning says because of engine warning. Okay, let's do a complete log of all the controls on the truck. Okay, well, it looks like that you have ABS codes in the truck that could be causing it. Well, what the fuck does AutoStar have to do with ABS? Well, it's a possibility. What do you mean it's a possibility? Do you not know? And it's like, well, just check it out, see what it is. Okay, checked it out. Not the issue. Go through, it's like, oh, well, it also looks like you got a tire pressure monitoring fault. That could cause the auto start not to work. It's like, why the fuck does tire pressure monitoring have to do with fucking auto start?
Computers. That's all I can say.
Nothing at all. But this is what advanced diagnostics is telling me. And I'm sitting there going about that point in time is like, you guys don't know how this system works, do you? It's like, you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Why in the fuck am I talking to you guys? And then going through,
they're lovely people.
yeah, and going through and looking at it, and it's like one thing that jumps out to me that I put to the back of my head. I put to the back of my head because it's not a feature in any of the older model trucks. The add fuel lights on.
Okay.
Because the brand new trucks, and they got about a quarter tank of fuel each tank. Okay, low fuel lights on. Didn't think anything of it because simple fact, all the other trucks that have the auto start feature, it doesn't look for that. That's not a fucking interlock feature. Come to find out, it is.
Nice.
We put 2 new fuel sensors in it, just so we can pull them all the way up to full, test it, system works, and they're like, "Hey, well, it looks like you figured it out, and that's a good thing to know." And it's like, what do you mean it's a good thing to know? You guys are the ones that built the fucking truck.
Yeah, just because they kind of built it doesn't necessarily mean that they know. It's like architects, they're the ones that planned everything out and they hand it off to a builder, contractor, that to actually make it possible. And they don't know what's in it.
The EMUX trucks, the new 2026, 2027 trucks that are coming out, there is no diagnostics for the auto sort. There is no breakdown of the auto sort. There's no diagram or flow chart how this system works. There's no breakdown of the controller in the back. No service ledger on the back. No troubleshooting on the back. There's no troubleshooting for the new S-Bar systems. There's nothing
you have
for this fucking system.
You have a new game. You've
Yeah,
gamified your work. Congratulations.
I don't like it. But in the day, it's
All you
like
need to do
so.
is put a little like I don't know what those little head cams on and have like an overlay like a little like a UI that looks like
Oh Jesus Christ! But no, in a day, we got it down to I
That's
believe I can do the trucks in about 8 hours. They're
all
gonna
right.
quote out, I believe, 12 hours or so, 10 hours
All
or
right.
so. But it's like, regardless, if I can do the trucks in 8 hours and they do 12 hours each, and I've got 19 more to do,
Uh-huh.
um, I'm gonna make bank. So
Cool. Cool. Yeah. I
that was just a fun little bullshit story I ended up having to do for like the last week and a half.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be a fun little bullshit story. I mean, Dragon has to deal with probably
Yeah.
work and whatnot. Aren't you out there in the Texas region?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have little worms that you have to worry about?
Dude, we got all sorts of shit.
I know, I know. You guys always end up with lucky stuff. I don't know what's up with you guys over there. I really don't. You make me wonder. You make me wonder.
Not hard to wonder.
It for me it is. Come on, I'm way north.
Well, for him in Texas, you got the Carmel Anthony stuff you got to
Ah,
worry
that's
about.
true. That's another.
And for me, it's like I haven't been on last 2 weeks or so. I'm sorry about that.
That's
Yeah, no,
fine.
it don't help either. I have a job that does require on-call status.
Oh no,
Well,
no, I can. The last show was just myself and Jem, and we pretty much shot the shit of a few things here and there. We actually did a lot of movies in that the last time because we were talking about
yeah, I
He-Man,
know.
and it came out,
Yeah,
and
I know. I was seeing all the copyright strikes.
yes, so yes,
Yeah.
we had to talk about He-Man, the Master of the Universe. Oh, and kind of going over the the averageness of the actual movie, and
Blah.
how I said it was going to not really. I pretty much stated that the studio being Amazon in this case, because MGM Grand that Amazon has, they're not going to be really worried about the profit margin of this particular movie or franchise because of the fact it's going to be going over to their streaming service, which they're going to be gaining a lot more revenue, maybe because of the fact it's going to be adding with the actual roster of all the movies that they've created. So, uh, and also you have to remember it's Jeff Bezos' money, so he's
Well,
out there, so he doesn't care.
the issue I have with the new He-Man movie is the 1989 movie, as cheesy as it is far superior.
Um, I'm kind of in a mixed bag because they borrowed heavily from a lot of different areas of the franchise to make this new version of He-Man. Because if you look at out of all the characters that they had there, Jared Leto's Skeletor kind of a combination of the 80s cartoon mixed in with the movie that they had with Dolph Lundgren. It's like they merged the two together. There's a little bit of the campiness that exists, but there's also a lot of that theatrical that comes with it.
They
Uh,
almost got Skeletor's character right.
correct. So
Almost.
and Jared Leto is kind of the questionable cog in the entire thing, and I was like, okay, he's actually did pretty well. They did do a lot of different cameos near the end of the movie. They brought in a lot of different elements that would signify for different levels of sequel. They brought in Orko at the end of it to do the 80s PSA moment, and I understand that you could take it in a more anti-masculine presentation, but it really wasn't. And it was more or less kind of going, muscles doesn't just make the man itself. It's a lot to it. And if you have a skeleton face, that means that you are most likely the bad guy. It's kind of a nice neutral there for the most part. Wasn't really heavy handed on the feminist kind of trope that masculinity is bad, and it wasn't on a full, whatever the current, all men are
The
superior thing kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I was gonna say the fact that they even tried to go anywhere near anti-masculine for
Yeah,
He-Man
yeah.
is just
Uh,
baffling to me.
uh, that's the weird thing because, like I said before, they I feel like that what they were trying to do, or at least the director was trying to do for the most part, because it is a combination of what they were trying to get out of Barbie because it is a Mattel franchise, uh, and what they have learned from the Disney, such as Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing, and try to mash the two worlds together to create He-Man instead of just allowing He-Man to be what it is. And taking us going from Eternia to Earth and then back to Eternia, the Earth part could have been like seriously removed. And some of the actual areas of Eternia portion of it could have been removed in order to get you a full, proper runtime for this movie because one, the movie was way too long. It could have been done in about 90 minutes, not whatever the time, because it was just way
Yeah.
too. And yeah,
Uh,
but
I
like I
don't
said,
know.
it was an interesting take. I'm not totally against what they did. It's because again, trying to bring in alphas, the zoomers,
They
and the
tried to do a
betas to
combination.
this, yes, as well as trying to keep the millennials and the Gen Xers, the kind of
Every,
appeal to
eh,
try to get all of this generation to bear witness this new version of He-Man.
so
Because
they're
again,
ba-
like it or not, the market is the Zoomers and the Alphas with the Betas. We are kind of the end of the market. Yes, we have the money, but we're not really looked after. We're not going to be looked after because, w- like it or not, we're not the ones that's supposed to be buying these toys.
yeah,
And
that's
yet,
a thing.
we are the market that buys these toys.
Yep. Oh, well, here's the sad part. They don't quite fucking figure it out that people who grew up on the stuff are the primary ones who are going to purchase.
Yeah, that is a fair assessment. Yeah.
I was gonna say the only new movie I've seen that I liked this year has been Project Hail Mary. So
No, no, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Sadly, I haven't
Actually,
watched a good movie in a while.
I
it's a good
actually
one.
I did mind Obsession. Obsession was actually pretty good. It was done by a YouTuber, basically, in the actual movie market, like Markiplier. Unlike Markiplier, who kind of funded it himself, they got a larger studio to help with this. So now, as well as the back rooms, which was also done with the help of a larger studio with the YouTuber who was the director and creator going forward on this project. It seems like that market there of what is considered indie is now
Hmm.
going to YouTubers who actually were overlooked at one time. So, if it wasn't for something like Markiplier, I guess some studios would have never looked at them. So, yeah.
Sad part is this is true.
Again, it's speculative. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it is because remember, I don't know if most people kind of remember the time frame where young directors up and coming like Spielberg, Lucas, the list goes on. They were kind of experimentals. Most studios at one time would have kind of pushed them off to the side and said, "Yeah, we don't deal with that." Until we got to about the '80s, and then we had all these experimental movies that became sensational hits and cult classics, all the way leading up until about the early 2000s, and then they were trying to get the guaranteed hits. So you didn't have the experimental movies. Now we're back to a little degree of experimentals. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. In the case of He-Man, it's an older franchise, but its script has been kind of moved around a lot. So it's not the original script; it was something completely different. What we ended up with, and now we have the potential of She-Ra being added into the roster for this movie, either standalone or within the actual movie franchise itself for the Motu franchise. It's up there because the people behind Barbie own She-Ra. So
That's gonna be
and I
cool.
know it's still a Mattel product, but it's a division. It's a different portion of that subsidiary. They have the rights to, and the who ended up with the movie rights was another company that ended up with the movie rights or another production. It's the same thing. It's similar to what happened with Star Trek. The TV rights went to one direction, the movie rights went to a different direction, and it took a while for them to fuse the two together, and even that's still up in the air. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? Oh, did you hear what happened with Stargate?
Okay.
I curious because I've seen things on Twitter recently that made me
Didn't
wonder.
didn't did Amazon pull the plug?
The plug was pulled. Yes.
So no more Stargate.
Uh, yes and no.
The fans are rebelling pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
Well, I am. Well, I can see fucking why. I mean, in all reality, fucking Stargate, oddly enough, for something that hasn't had much content in a while, really is fucking popular.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know the reason of why the plug was pulled?
Wasn't it in dispute
Yes.
with one of the actors?
No, not really, because it was too much fan service.
Excuse me.
Yeah, too much fan service. Amazon does not want or wanted the original fans to be brought into the equation. They
So they
wanted
wanted to change it.
they wanted to be
I'm.
able to bring in new fans of this universe.
That's stupid. You can
Yes.
bring in new fans and
Oh, I
still
know.
cater to the old ones.
Correct, because the reason
I'm.
of why the producers, the people that were behind it, sorry, Dragon, were kind of going in that direction for the most part, kind of going, yes, we can bring you into a new world of this Stargate universe, and you don't have to go back to the back catalog in order to catch yourself up. If you want to, great, but it's not necessary to continue from where we are in this story going forward.
I mean, look. If you were to tell me they were doing a complete reboot of Stargate, I'd be okay with that
Yeah. No, they
because
weren't doing a complete reboot. They were just going to continue where we left off.
I'm. Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, pretty much.
So that doesn't make much sense to me because if you don't want to cater to the fans or have fan service anything like that, but you want to bring in a new generation of people to be fans of this new Stargate,
You need to reboot.
it would make more sense to make it into a reboot. Because
It
if
would.
you don't make it into a reboot, you're gonna have part of a story that
Mhm.
they're gonna get into, and it is possible to continue on where it left off and not include anything from the old story. It is possible to do that,
Oh yeah,
but then you gotta have people go back and watch the old stuff then because
that's
some
kind
people
of
will be curious.
no, that's kind of the idea. Is to kind of layer a little bit of an Easter eggs or a little oh look, a piece of candy kind of trail in
But
order
that's
for you.
fan service.
Kind of yes, but it's light dabbling of it. But for uh, Amazon, they didn't like the direction that was going into. So yes, there was going to be a bit of catering to the fans of the old franchise, and it was going to try to introduce new fans to an updated version of the franchise. Um, but yeah, Amazon just or the people that was behind it kind of went, yeah, no, no, boss, no, 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 not going forward on
Yeah.
this. Plug was pulled, and regardless of whatever behind the scenes of whether an actor or whatever was having some issues, that was kind of resolved. but it was more or less came back down to fan service and catering to the older fans. Something that happened with a certain, Paramount project that was trying to bring in some brand new people from a galaxy, that had itself
Jesus.
blown up because of it overused on dilithium.
God damn it.
Yeah, that's how we get to Star Trek Academy.
You
we go
can't do that.
we go a
You,
bit
you
further
can't do
into the
that shit.
future and we destroy dilithium. Yeah,
Oh dear Lord. Look,
yeah.
I'm not even sure what to say to this because I'm kind of sparky on this one. If you wanted new fans, why continue the old story?
That is kind of my argument as well. I look at it this way: there's room for reboots for a lot of different areas of the franchise, including Star Wars. If there's like a contract portion that says that Disney can't reboot the original Lucas 6,
Yeah.
then you move into a different area to help reboot that franchise. That means that instead of going to the New Old Republic or whatever it was, you
My
go to a bit further back. You go to the Darth Revan, story, or a bit further.
The old
So yeah,
Republic.
yeah,
you
No,
know,
and that's the thing is with Star Wars,
yes,
um, there is no canonical
no, there isn't. No.
point. So the only reason why Star Wars is quote unquote canonical point is even there to begin with is
Uh-huh.
because of the first three original movies, which
Correct.
actually tells a story ending from a much broader story. And even
Correct.
then, that much broader story doesn't even include everything that led up to that point when you go into
No,
episode one, two, and three.
yeah,
It is
because
it's a galaxy far, far
or
away, long time ago. And
no,
there's plenty of different things that you can do within the universe. Hell, you can go into, like I said, Old Republic. You can go into Darth Vader. You can go into Darth Bane. Hell, you can even go into the unknown regions. There's plenty of different fucking lore out there. What if you want to use it or not? And you can
yep.
set this thing
actually,
anywhere. You can
you know
set
what?
the fucking timeline anywhere. It's like, if I remember right, the span timeline within the actual Star Wars universe is like what 50,000 fucking years.
Give or take, yes. And realistically, if you look at it, you want to go into female boss mode. You could go into the actual birth of the first Jedi versus the first Sith Lord, which happened to be brother and sister. This goes way, way, way back before even Sith and Jedi's were actually even a thing. It's Hell, we don't even get proper Coruscant. We were on an obscure little planet, learning that uh, travelers from what used to be Terra left to go to outer regions of unknown space, and you had the introduction of force users for the very first time, the special individuals that are able to use something that wasn't even properly named, that was considered the force. And they ended up having the Jedi and something else, dark and light, and that was pretty much the earlier foundations, and that predates even the Skywalker timeline, because most I hate it, but everybody focuses on the Skywalker story. That's great, but that was just one point in as you stated, eons of story that's available, or within the entire span of the
Hell,
galaxy. One point.
Well, you could even, if you wanted to, you can make a whole fucking deal. And you're right for human, but there was actually the force. People who use the force.
Yeah.
It was a species of fucking aliens.
No, yeah.
The oh fuck, what were they
It,
called?
it's all good. There was. To be honest, there's many different alien
Yeah.
species that utilizes the force.
I think I
or-
know he's. I know. I think I know who he's referring to. I just can't remember the name myself. But the one thing they could, the one thing they could have done,
Yeah.
if they wanted to bring old and new fans along, what Disney could have done, they could have done a story of how Palpatine pulled off the Clone Wars.
Well, yeah. That there you go. I It makes sense. I mean, you
Ricotta.
have
The
the
Ricottans.
Ricotta
Ricotta Empire.
Yeah.
No, that would make sense. I mean, like I said before, we have a lot of areas of stories that have been kind of touched, yes, in book form, or have species that have been labeled that it exists within the Lucas universe that you can utilize and try to create the story from their perspective. And hell, they brought in Thrawn later, but they could have properly utilized Thrawn. They failed on that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. So there's a lot of options that they could have went with, but they still are incapable of seeing their noses in front of their faces. So
Yeah. It's they want to kneecap themselves and they want to stay locked within a certain
timeline.
a certain timeline. And it's like you don't have to do that. But you could tell a story about the first Mandalorian Jedi. That in itself would be
Yes.
unique.
That is. There's a lot of good stories. The creation of the dark saber. We don't have a lot of histrionic
Nope.
on it. So
Mandalorian War.
yes. So
Which one?
that's any of them. You can just
Look.
build off of that.
Yeah. Look, you could do
The very the
first
original
Mandalorian
Mandalorian
War.
versus the people, the species that took over the planet afterwards, Mandalore. There is a huge swath of different opportunities.
No, even then, if you want to get down to brass tacks and nitty gritty, it's like Mandalore and the Mandalorians. Mandalorians weren't even Mandalorians. They conquered Mandalore.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It wasn't even their home world.
No, it was a different species that had. Yes, I know. So, so that's why I said it's like the original Mandalorians or the people who took over it. I don't care where you go, but you have a large universe with multiple different stories at your beck and call. The only thing I can actually say that did a franchise right for a retell or a reboot would have been Battlestar Galactica. And I know there's a few people that did like a lot of the gender swaps of certain characters. I didn't mind it too much because they kept the characters somewhat the same. Like for example, Starbuck, which was originally a male character, became a female character. She was still a smoker. She still was a person who was sleeping with every guy that she could find. And she was an ace pilot. Okay, cool beans. Boomer. Yeah, from a black guy to an Asian tiny girl. But still kept a lot of the same characteristics of what the actual true character was. So, like it or not, I kind of didn't mind it too much. Yeah, I did like down the road where they made everybody a Bylon. That was kind of stupid, but I just kind of they kind of locked themselves into a certain story arc that kind of difficult to get out of.
So
Realistically, yeah.
so kind of like hot take on my end. It's like like Voltron.
Yes.
The new Voltron that came out all those years ago, and it's like I liked bits and pieces of it, and there's some things that I was okay with, and there's a lot of things I like. Why in the fuck did you do this?
Correct.
It's like the campiness, the silliness was way up top. 100%. Okay, whatever. It does add a certain type of endearment. Pidge's gender swap, I didn't mind it. And actually, they made it fit.
Correct.
So it's like it wasn't that big of a deal to me. It's like whatever. Um, the other things like with the other character and wanting to push the pride bullshit, that was a
Yeah,
little bit
no,
of a line because like it didn't need to be in there, whatever. But everything else, like the relationships and the dynamics of the characters, like what they did with the prince, what they did with Keith and
yeah,
his origins, Keith being half going, you know, aspects like that.
yeah.
I thought added to the story was real cool and unique.
No,
So
no.
it's like
So,
half good, half bad.
no, and that's basically what it is. I understand that we're going to try. Unfortunately, we're in a time frame where we're trying to include everybody into the story conversation as best we can, and you're trying to hit a swath of people, the large brush of people that you want into the world of this particular franchise, whatever the franchise is. So you're going to try to cater to as many people as possible. Yeah, you're gonna get a few people who are going to get a bug up their ass, but it is what it is. You just kind of go with it. I'm not going to be
Make
happy.
it good, not stupid.
Yes,
It's like that's all I ask. Make it good, not
yes.
fucking
No, no,
stupid.
and
It's
that's
like
what I agree to. I like that.
it's like I told one person on a comment.
Uh,
And it was a scene from like the Lower Decks and how it's like I'm sitting there watching and I'm just sitting there. Gene Roddenberry is rolling over in his grave right now, and somebody commented to me, "It's like why he's a progressive." People agree with this. It's like if Gene Roddenberry actually agreed with this, he would have put shit like this actually in the fucking shit he done.
yeah.
He didn't.
No. No.
Mm-mm. Not to mention, if you really think about it, he was technically progressive, but he was only progressive because it made the show look good and it made a good story.
No, no, no. He was progressive. We'll put it this way.
He's
You're trying.
progressive. He didn't put all that in his fucking films.
He had a reasoning of why he put certain things in certain places. He
Mhm.
wasn't just progressive because of progressive sake. He was progressive with knowing that certain things are going to evolve. You have to gingerly introduce a few things. Look, he wanted to make the original captain female. That's how progressive this man was. He wanted the very first captain of the Enterprise to be female.
But wasn't the only reason that didn't happen was because the people behind this that were
Studio
like
said
worried?
no.
Yeah,
Hell, they didn't
studio.
even want Spock.
They didn't even hell. They didn't want fucking
A
Ohora.
whole
Yes, they didn't want Uhura to be there. They didn't want
or
Spock to be
Chekhov
there.
or
They hated
Scotty.
Chekhov. Scotty was kind of questionable. They
Oh,
wanted to
good
have a
day.
male captain, not a female captain. They didn't even want a black captain involved in anything. So no black doctor. So he was fighting a studio who was still in the backwaters, dealing with whatever they had to do on a more political venture. They wanted to make sure that they did rock the boat, and unfortunately, Star Trek rocked the boat. Like it or not,
And it worked.
to a degree, yes, but also it failed because it was eventually taken off the air. It only became successful in syndication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta remember, this sci-fi brought in the studios a lot of hatred for the longest time frame, and then once it went into syndication and time has changed, then it became the most popular thing because, like it or not, we have evolved as a society. Society is slow. Sometimes there's certain things that are too ahead of its time.
Look, society's not just slow. Sometimes it's flat out retarded.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate truth.
Yeah.
But
But the thing I was talking about was like Lordex. It's like teenagers on a fucking college bender. That's what that is. It's like if you look at the demeanor of the people within the crew and how they act and how they do stuff within it, it's like that's not how any of the show was portrayed, and if there were characters that portrayed that, they were outliers or main characters, stuff like that. Not fucking everyone. Example,
Jesus.
Cook.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So it's like not. It, looking at the whole deal, I'm sitting there looking. It's like a lot of these fucking people within the show give the vibe of Captain Picard going, "Shut up, Wesley."
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, also,
Um.
they also forget that Wesley also said his renegade moment, a renegade without a cause. He before he became the traveler, whatever his takeover was, in order to get the fuck off the off the.
Why him becoming the traveler was them being nice, saying, "Hey, we're done with you."
We're gone. Yes, be gone with you, bitch. But no, he was he was kind of him in the earlier cadets portion of TNG was the introduction of maybe the unruly, but again, as you pointed out, it was a small group that was doing that. It wasn't an entire.
It's like if you want an example of why that doesn't work, look at Nog.
Yeah, very good example. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nog was, he was
Nog and Jake.
he was a Ferengi.
Yeah,
And what does Ferengis do? They love money. And they love money and getting money any which way, even if it means thievery.
yeah,
And, Nog turned over and proved himself to Cisco. And he went above and beyond. And he became a very exemplary character,
yes.
especially, providing change
Uh-huh.
to
Yeah.
oneself. And when you look at the aspects of, like I said, Lower Decks and the characters within it, it just doesn't make sense.
No, basically the new version of Star Trek or Kirk's
It's Star Trek made for Zoomers. Is
No,
what
no,
it is.
no. The best way to explain it, because I understand the generation that Kurtzman is from. It's Star Trek 90120. It's Melrose Place in space.
Huh.
It's the rom drama, from Fox or whatever, in space. If Jim X was here, I would say it's Dynasty in space, or Knots Landing in space. They want a stupid drama that makes no fucking sense.
No,
Universe, but it's
no,
TV.
I got the puppet one.
Go for it.
Porky's in space.
That works too.
Jesus.
That works very works very well too. Yes, because it is just the teenage level of just uses CW programming in space. That's basically Kirkman in general. He wants to make a CW program, but he was given access to a large franchise that he knows nothing about, and he hires people that knows nothing about the franchise, so he can continue his CW in space.
Yeah.
So we end up with the Titans version, or the worst possible CW movies out there, or TV shows out there
Yeah.
has been created.
Well, the most disgraceful thing was the trans cross dressing fucking Klingon.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
That was a nightmare in its own right.
Well, I'm sitting there going, and it's like, look, there's no explanation for it. There is no
No, there's-
explanation for it at all. The only explanation is if that Klingon was raised by anyone other than Klingons and had no upbringing whatsoever within the
Well-
Klingon Empire. Because even after the fucking loss of the fucking main, even when they had to evacuate the fucking homeworld,
yeah,
it's like you don't change a society of people or races like that within the span of 100 years. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it wasn't just 100 years. The funny thing is, it was like close to 500 years. So, that's where it kind of gets weird, because the timeline for that version of Star Trek
Mm-hmm.
is spaced not 100 years after the fact. It's actually spaced
500.
500 years. So you could have a complete change. The other thing that most people, and again, it's a theory, forget that when the Borg went back in time and altered the timeline there, even though Picard and friends prevented the Borg from changing the timeline, the guy that ended up meeting with the Vulcans, he still continued knowing that people from the future came back.
Yeah, they addressed that Enterprise. Yeah,
Yeah. So
even then,
technically, the timeline did it changed, but it didn't change. If you understand what I'm trying to go at.
well, so it and they actually did that real. It's one version of like time travel that
Yes.
makes sense because they don't change anything really to dictate that. Because if you look back within the next generation, so Picard's first meeting with the Borg was because of Q, and it was Q
Huh?
sending Picard to meet a enemy that he could not handle. Now you can say, "Oh well, Q's the one that introduced the Borg to Picard." Yes and no. Q, if you look at it, Q sped up the process of them meeting the Borg. The Borg was still coming.
Huh? I know. I know.
And the way they did it is like I said, in Enterprise, if you watch Enterprise, they find the red sphere and they
No,
find a
I
couple
yeah.
Borg drones.
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah. And they were able to file off a pulse signal or I can't remember what the fuck.
It was just a signal. It was
Yeah, they were able to fire off a signal to notify the collective. And even it's like it would take forever with the equipment they had, and they
yeah.
estimated it to be about the same time of whenever they first encountered it.
No, I get that. I get that. No, but again, like I
So
said, if
it
we
makes
take,
sense.
no, again, but if we take into consideration of that movie, and even if we kind of say that yes, the timeline itself, or at least what happened with that timeline, did not change, but it kind of did because the person from the past shouldn't have remembered what happened with the other people, but he did, and he documented it all, which kind of continued because even in Enterprise with Archer, he talks about it. So that just tells you that
Yeah,
they've created a timeline B that we're following, and not the original timeline.
yeah.
So, and even if you kind of go to the other breaking points, you could probably get it. So when we get down to the Academy or whatever, it's not part of the original Calvin timeline, but it is a branch of that timeline.
Well, hell, even then, you have multiple time travel instances
Yes.
within the original.
I'm gonna
The
catch you
Voyage
guys.
All
Home
right. Talk to you later.
later.
Thanks for coming.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you have the Voyage Home, which
Yes.
they go back to
It's
bring
a
back a
different. Yeah.
humpback whale.
Yes. Yes. So
And
they've
even
forward.
then, individual show they have different time. It's like they met different alternates. They
Yeah.
met themselves, Cook's crew,
Yeah.
where they were conquerors of the fucking
Yeah,
systems.
the mirror universe is that even that the mirror universe had a different mirror universe, different variances of it. So yeah, I can see where they went wrong in some aspect and what they did right by saving uh the Roddenberry timeline as is, because he followed if you follow his timeline, it kind of it would be the original timeline. It has a means and a purpose going forward, but the movies changed that timeline a bit to give you some leeway to go in a different direction for storytelling. So by the time we get to the Enterprise of Enterprise D, the next generation, even though we have the back catalog of Kirk, McCoy, and so on and so forth from the OGs, their story is a little bit different because we're also incorporating the movie franchise portion of it to a point and diverging from that. And so by the time we get into that weird crossover that we have with Patrick Stewart and Shatner, uh, McDowell, he was some weird alien creature, whatever. The reason of why Kirk is dead, technically he's not dead, but he is dead because they bring him back. So it's like okay, so that's a different spin-off of a different time frame. Hell, even the Gorns don't even look like Gorns as you get further down. So,
Um,
uh,
time out. Time out. Yes and no. The talk about the Nexus,
yeah,
and it. I wouldn't really call that time travel. I'd call that um
I'd probably call it a paradox.
auto no, it's a little bit of a paradox, but it's like fabricating your own
Yeah,
realm of existence
no,
because
no,
your realm of because here's the thing that the Nexus
uh,
affects people different ways depending on their wants and desires, not really time travel.
no,
It's
no, but
their
it creates.
wants and desires. And what they did in the Nexus for generations is Cook died,
Yeah.
but he didn't die. He was trapped within the Nexus.
No, no, like I said, it created a paradox.
Yeah.
So a time paradox does exist and it can happen. Unfortunately, I follow a lot of the weird sci-fi, especially Doctor Who kind of portion of it, and you can create different little pocket paradoxes that will actually alter time in a weird little way, creating a sub lineage. If we follow the string theory formula done by Einstein himself. So these are all different theories. A lot of either fan based theories or theories that actually are hard coded into Star Trek or whatever type franchise because it is sci fi like it is. And the Trek version of propulsion of that would kind of put it in a class, what is it, class two, class three base civilization, because it deals with a lot of energy being used in order to get themselves from point to point. Whereas something like Star Wars is a bit higher in the classification because it actually is a class three, class four. It has a superior mode of transportation and a few other different things, but it doesn't rely on a huge amount of energy. There's different energy that is at what's considered a higher value of output, but you utilizing something a bit smaller. For example, the carbonite for the not the carbonite the crystal that powers the fucking lightsabers, which we power the laser beam, the death beam of the fucking
Kyber,
Death Star.
Kyber crystals.
Kyber crystal, thank you. And I knew it was a K. I just couldn't remember which K at the moment time frame. But yeah,
Well,
that
you think of carbonite is like no, that's the stuff they used to freeze people with.
yes. Like I can't wait. My brain just kind of I know I'm in the right universe using the wrong product, but regardless of the fact, even then, that is not kind of known to be a factor in the Star Trek universe. So that's where it gets kind of dicey all over the place. So the the specific materials used for each one follows what we have dubbed classification of one, two, three, four, five types of civilizations. There's much more in the classifications than that, but we're following that kind of lineage as well as we're following other lineages within the string theory and paradoxes and potential and theoretical physics and all that kind of shit. So, and we put it all into our sci-fi. Sci-fi at one time used to be smart writing. Now we kind of are stuck with not really sci-fi, but sci-fantasy. styles of presenters and that. So when you go into Kirksman, it is fantasy for the most part, or hell, even the new Doctor Who, it's fantasy based. It's getting away from the factors or what's actual facts within science current. So yeah, it's I can see where a lot of the theories are, and some of the fans' theories when it comes down to the timeline, whether it be for Star Wars or even Star Trek, or for whatever other franchise itself. That the original timeline is still intact somewhere, but we've diverged from the actual what portion of the window that we're looking through at that moment.
Yeah.
So we're not
I was gonna
looking.
say I held Star Wars to a high standard of, hey, they don't use time travel or time stuff to fuck with stuff, and then they
They do. Actually, they
did
they
that.
kind of have the ability because it was actually written in an actual portion of one of the actual books. So it's the veil of it's the dark. It's I can't remember if it's called the dark veil or but the veil of the force. I think because basically Palpatine found this thing and he kept it with him and he opened up different points of paradoxical timelines and it was supposed to have blown up with him on the Death Star too, but because it was kind of presented on again book form, it was presented in there. They could have used it to create the expanded universe. Reason of why he survived. He was able to go into one of the actual pocket mirrors and come out in a different timeline. So
Mm-hmm.
which gives us the expanded universe. Now, that's the easiest way to write it out because, like I said, that feature exists, but we've never really used it or they've never really explored on it. But the feature does exist.
They have.
It's a net, it's a saving
No,
grace.
they have. They have. They done it in
Yeah,
Rebels.
there you go, there you go. So, but again, like I said, it's a saving
That's
grace.
why I was. That's why I was saying. And yes, it was something that Palpatine used, stuff like that. But
Yeah,
that's also how they used it to Ezra was able to go in and he was able to save Ahsoka from Darth Vader,
yeah. See,
and then he went to go attempt to save Kanan, but then right at the time of growing ready to save Kanan, realized that if he did, he would have killed the rest of them. So it's one of those sacrifices that it had to happen.
there you go. So basically, like I said, it's there as a not a redo, but it's a safety net so that in case of something has gone too far, they have a way to write it out. Hell, even He-Man has a degree of safety nets just to make sure that you can course correct on a wrong direction. Doctor Who is primed for that to course correct if they need to, if they ever decide to reboot or restructure the franchise because it went in too far in a completely different direction. Because if you look at it, we have the fugitive doctor, we have a doctor, a female version who is supposed to be the timeless child, and yet all of the doctors knew nothing uh, about this whatsoever. But the master eventually figured it out, and the fugitive doctor lives within a timeline that the originals doctors do not know about whatsoever. And then you have the warrior doctor who was it 10th version, which is 10 and 11, so kind of did know about and kind of do know about because they blocked that portion out of memory for the most part and forced to remember that that actually does happen and it's part of their timeline. So technically, he he did change his face 12 times. It was actually 13, almost 14 times. So technically, they broke the 12 regeneration for all Time Lords rules a while back. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of moments where you can fuck with a franchise, and caveats in that, but you create a safety net somewhere along the line so you can redraft it. Fuck, hell, even with the Gatwa Doctor 15, you have 14 and 15 living together in the same fucking timeline. Yet neither one of them exists with each other, which is weird. So it's like, okay, you're the same timeline doing with the same people and whatever that Gatwa was doing with on his adventure. Tennant's version, number 14, who is also number 10, had no interactions with Gatwa, which is 15. So it's just like, okay, we won't explain why these two exist. We're just going to say by generation, and that's it. And not really kind of continue with why this is a thing, or continue with the potential stories going forward. Whether having the cameo of Tennant every now and then to just, be there in the background, or have a supporting aid, because technically Doctor 15 is a restart of the entire franchise. So he's technically Doctor 1. He's the first Doctor within this by generation following his timeline, where Tennant is following a different timeline of his Doctor. So it's like, okay. So technically, after we get the female doctor out of the way, she splits into two guys, one white, one black, and we have two separate, different, adventures, all existing within the same time period. So we've got two things happening. So we could simply just say, yeah, whatever was happening with the Gatwa version of Doctor, that all happened on his shit. It has nothing to do with the other shit that's happening over on the Tenet side. So that's a different tale that we can get into, which is, like it or not, a saving grace, because it created a paradox. So it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Science fiction is weird, but I don't know if you've heard. We're going to get away from sci-fi and go into a little bit
That's
of
fine.
zombies and gaming. Have you heard that 7 Days to Die has now had another update?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so now they've came up with a Dead Hot Summer release, the version 3.0, and it's an upgrade, but I don't think it should have been a 3.0 update, realistically speaking. Because what they've done is they've allowed the players to have different active features that they can turn on and off. So we have a lot more switches and knobs that we can play with to kind of make the game within our playstyle. Featurettes that we have, like for example, we can have it more of a Romero type zombie type game where the zombies are slow. You have to hit them in the head, and they're not runners. They don't come with multiple different skittle colors in that. They're not red or blue or whatever it is. You don't have to have the horde knight, because again you have this massive horde coming at you. That is harder to kill, because you have to remember to hit them in the head, and if you make noises and that, they show up. That is one aspect of it. You can turn off all the traders so that it makes the game a lot more challenging. You can make the amount of items being found a bit more scarce. Things like that. Hell, you could turn off you know how you get an instant map, you know where you are compass wise, you know the time of day. You can turn all that feature off.
Cool.
So they now have more different featurettes that they have. And the beautiful thing is, whatever you created, you can actually get the code from it and send it to your friends in that who have the game, and to be able to play the same game with whatever items that were turned off, that you don't have to tell them what to do. Just plug in that code and everything fixes itself. So it's almost like Minecraft, set it and forget it kind of thing, and it happens on the server side of things. So it's beautiful, and the player also kind of interacts with what's happening for the most part. And there's a few new things. You know how they have zombies that know how to dig and shit? Well, you can turn that off. You know how zombies like to break everything that you built? Well, you can turn that off. There's a lot of weird things that they were able to do. They've also added in 60 new POIs to the actual list. Um, they've changed a few things, such as the noise response, shapes, in certain texts. They've introduced some new mask layers for colors and that. You can also have it where your character has your mask on and off, even though it's technically off, it's really on, but it's not visual kind of thing. Um, you can actually turn off the crosshairs or change the crosshair look if you want to. Um, yeah, there's a lot of different things. Hell, you can have it daylight constantly or forever night. Um, so yeah, they've improved a lot of different things, but is it a full fledged 100% refresh of the game mechanics? Not really. All they've done is just given us a lot of new switches and maybe a few different mechanics here that have been kind of like waiting. Like for example, the we have now a machine gun and like an M60 turret that's available, which uses a seven what is it
7.4
7.56s.
or 5.6.
Yeah, 7.556. Yes, they actually use that now as the prime and all the other different like the AP whatever that they have that come with it. So if you have a huge leftover of bullets that you don't know what to do with, you can actually feed it to all of the turrets now because they have the 9 millimeters, the shotgun version. Hell, even the drone now comes with a stun button feature. So they're adding on a lot of the featurettes that we've been waiting for them to do, as well as they've created the sandbox version of the game, as well as they have the full-fledged multiple different maps, procedural maps that you can have. So you can either have a small little universe pocket area, or as broad as you want to, have multiple different cities spanning whatever it is. They really haven't got rid of the where the traders are like this where they have the traders designed for whatever store that they're building in specific areas so you go to for reasons of why you want to go to trader jen in the burnt forest or and so on and so forth why these traders are there for the most part is for whatever store that they're trying to build and so they've locked those traders in a certain spot if we had the ability to remove that and have the traders jump around from point to point like they did in the early portions of the game, most of the player base would be fine with it, but it is what it is. We have a feature where you can turn off the voice lines for all of the traders if you wish to. If you don't like a certain voice line for certain traders, like for example, I find Trader Jen kind of annoying because she's borrowing heavily from a different franchise that kind of doesn't work with the time period that they're in, which is the Fallout universe, because she does kind of go stim packs and all that kind of stuff. And she is a useless character, even though she's a medical character. And that's pretty much all she does. Now, I get it on a guy's perspective that she's the only female character there, and so she's somewhat eye candy. But realistically, I don't find that the the best draw point of her.
I want to know who Duke is.
That's basically what we're hoping to find out eventually. So the drama portion that I have marked up as earmarked of what we're going to be. So Jawudo, which is an Australian streamer who does 7 Days to Die, he was given a different build accidentally or purposely. Don't know. But it was a different build altogether. It wasn't the official 3.0 build. He was given a build that included a working uh, bandit NPCs. The skins were pretty much the same, but there's three different variants of bandits that were actually working. We had a melee, we had a close quarter, low level ballistics and one that was a high level ballistic trader, NPC bandits that were able to be spawned into the world. They weren't 100% official with the actual world itself, but they were part of the actual spawning list, as well as the access to the chicken coops and the ability to pick up chickens in order to put them into this chicken coop and that. So his build wasn't the right build that was sent out. And he's kind of in trouble because he uh, showcased this build, not realizing that this build was the wrong build. So it wasn't his fault, but the build is out there that now everybody who's waiting patiently for bandits to happen. Well, we know bandits are a thing. It might be with the next update, but we've got a lot of spoilers. A lot of spoilers. So not looking the fun pips are not very happy with what happened. And so legally speaking, uh, it's up in the air what's going to happen to this streamer. Um, whether he's going to get some form of punishment or they have to find out who sent him that particular build. Uh, so yeah, there's something happened on the Fun Pimp side. Definitely, they fucked up, and should be holding the bag, um, and should really
Well,
blame the.
I look at it like this: they've had 10+ years.
Yes,
I don't care.
no, I agree. I agree. I honestly, I don't blame the streamer for doing what he did, because he was given a build, told it was a 3.0. He did his job of presenting what the Flip Pimps wanted, which was this next build that they have that was supposed to be unleashed on us soon, because we've got the streamer weekend that's doing it. The experimental comes out on Monday, and then 2 weeks afterwards, it's going to be thrown to everybody as the this is the build that you got to deal with, and then the next build is going to be unleashed, which is the bandits, obviously. So we now know that the bandits are there. We now know that they have certain new mechanics that are waiting to be presented to us. Just
But probably still shit water.
oh, the water's still shit. Yes, uh, there is no working around
That
that.
that that's
Part and parcel.
never going to not be
Yes.
a thing.
That's part and parcel. Hell, I've seen modders trying to fix that, and yeah, no, it's part and parcel with the build. Um,
It's
it
like, every version of the game is like, let's see how badly we can fuck up the water.
we fixed the water. No, you did. You made it worse. It's the same. Now it's
Let's
worse.
let's put 60,000 fucking bricks of TNT in the water and see what we can do with it.
Yeah. Well, that portion kind of resolved a little bit, but not by much. Not by much.
Didn't we completely evaporate a fucking like one
Yes,
day?
we did. We did. We did. It was hilarious. It was fucking hilarious.
There's like just a bowl fucking crater in the lake.
Yes, yes. It was really weird because we had chunks of water. It was still kind of running, but it wasn't running because it was dry in certain spots. It was like wow, this water mechanic is so fucking broken. And then they slightly fixed it where it did flow in and filled up at an area, but it wasn't a complete fill up like you would later in the world of Minecraft, where it eventually does fill up a certain spot. So it is layer by layer by layer, but it does fill up the entire area by at least in 8 block, vertical or whatever, in either direction. So it makes kind of sense. Uh,
Well, see, the thing with Minecraft is like, yeah, okay, water's fucked up in Minecraft too, but
yes,
at least it's easy to fucking smooth over and fix and
yes,
make it look natural. You
yes.
can't fucking do that with
No,
that
no.
block.
I had a hard time trying to, because I was actually using water blocks that they have with 7 days. They're going, well, if I just fill it in just with the water block, it should work fine. No, 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 I didn't. Did not. Made it worse. To the point was like, fuck it. This world is we're done. Uh, we're gonna we're gonna rebuild the world with something different. So yeah, yeah, the water is still fucked. Oh, they now have they seems like they borrowed heavily from some of the modders out there. So now, in 7 days, you can actually get the bells to actually go boom. You know how the certain areas like the church bells or the bells found in some of the actual fire stations. So when you hit it, it
Mhm.
just goes clang and doesn't do anything. Or when you hit it, it just goes whump and there's no actual reverberation or whatever. Well, now we have an actual bell sound. So if you hit the bell, it actually makes a sound, like an actual bell sound. It also spawns in zombies.
Nice.
Problem is oh the downside to it, you are the actual focal point of the zombie attack and not the actual area of the sound. There's another mod out there that exists called Bells Go Bong, where it the bell itself is the focal point, and it actually brings in zombies that have technically spawned in the outer portions of the spawn points because the game itself spawns in the zombies. They're already there, but they're in a stationary lock waiting for the player to come near them. So once the player reaches a certain point, that would be justified. So let's say it's a radius of 5 feet or whatever it is. So once it hits that radius for the zombie, then the zombie activates itself, and now it starts moving. So now it actually kind of goes towards the player, or is it's walking around in that porch because it knows that the player is eventually going to go to it. So it's going to try to cross the distance as quickly as possible to give you the illusion that the world has always got zombies in it. Um, so what they've done with that particular mod is they've utilized that spawning mechanic so that the zombies that we can't see yet uh, all show up into that one area. So they all try to come to you. So the horde comes in waves. So it's like okay, and the explosions that we can have for that, for example, if we blow up a truck, it brings in a small wave of zombies that are focused on where that sound came from. And if you're in that area, well, you got to deal with that horde. But if you're out of that region, all those zombies that were kind of out in the open that are not inside the POI will go to that point of interest, trying to find out what made that noise or is there something of interest there. So it makes a new different mechanic in the game, where you can actually exploit that to move away a horde of zombies that you don't have enough, stamina or whatever away from you, so that you can go someplace else and heal or whatever, or loot whatever's the outside before you go inside the actual POI. Um, because again, the each POI is its own different world mechanics, and unfortunately, the way how the fun pimps have designed it, those zombies spawn in the moment you hit the threshold. So the moment you go through the door, those zombies are now active. Otherwise, they're considered sleepers. They don't move. They don't do anything. And then you have the after you hit a button or get past a certain invisible line, then they spawn in new zombies that kind of just come out of thin air. And even though you've cleared that area out, they now are going to spawn behind you for whatever reason, even though they shouldn't have because that place was cleared. So yeah, the fun pimps have kind of changed the mechanics to try to fuck over the player, but modders are finding a way to really kind of tweak it. So myself and Jim are running a different mod collection that I was able to cobble together. At least the mod pack that I was able to cobble together was a very large one. It was close to 125 different mods, but it created more of a proper realism. So uh, you had to hit the zombies in the head to kill them, which made it a bit more challenging. You didn't have a lot of runners. You didn't have the zombies were kind of slow and methodical and plentiful. They came in waves of hordes, and that if you made certain noises, they were attracted to where that noise was. We had more guns. We had access to what was considered the scored thing where you could clear out an area of a POI, and you would gain certain points in order to get extra perks or extra items. Plus, you were able to reset the POI to make it infested because of a certain candle that we had that attracted a new infected level of zombies that were much more harder. So it created, you could say it created a degree of exploitation, but it also created a new level of challenge so that you didn't have to leave a certain area of that POI very quickly, as well as I turned off the 7 day mechanic of when the zombie horde was supposed to show up, because realistically, we had a wandering horde that happened through the course of the day that got significantly more difficult. Uh, Based on the size of the actual horde and the strength of specific types of zombies. For example, it would be light levels of zombies that would be like the Arlenes or whatever. They were easy exposable types, and then all of a sudden the next wave of horde later, after we hit a certain level of our abilities in that, we ended up getting more bikers or more cops in that. And then the next level of wave was a lot more of the harder ones that we couldn't really kill very quickly, that were usually found in like the snow biomes or whatever. So we had the chucks and whatever, more of the specialized ones that had the larger hit points in that. So that were added on to. So even though they were slow and methodical, sometimes you might get a minor rager here and there, but it was just a nice, slow, steady challenge. And realistically, you didn't have to venture from town to town to town if you didn't want to. But in order for you to get the better weapons or whatever, you had to venture outside of that particular POI. So it kind of promoted you to move forward, but also did kind of force you to move forward. You could actually take your time. So it actually worked out very nicely. And yeah, I was hoping to get the DeLorean mod to actually work, because it actually did. One of the modders actually created the DeLorean. Not the time traveling portion of it, but the ability to use it as what is vehicle wise, as well as to be able to fly with it. But because it was part of the version 1, it would not work. So I was quite disappointed. I was hoping to actually utilize it, but it looks cool. But with the new updates with version 3, I'm curious to see what the modders are going to be doing with it, because there's a lot of features that were found in the modding collection that may not be needed anymore and can be readjusted. For example, we could get better weaponry, so that mod will be added to it. Having the headshots only mods or whatever features, that would no longer be needed, because we have a button or an opportunity just to switch that on, so that we have the cinematic headshots or the headshots only for it. Uh, from what I understand, the downside for the headshots only, it also affects the for the game itself. The foam pips have fucked that one up, because it also affects the animals, where the mod itself did affected only the zombies, and the animals you had to deal with as what the animals were. So, but yeah, I'm curious what's going to happen with the streamer Jawoodle, because he's got to go through whatever legalities, whatever on their end with the fun pimps. It is the fun pimps who fucked that up. They're at fault, and they've got to figure out who fucked it, and deal with that. As it is, yes, the unfortunately the genie's out of the bottle. We know that bandits are coming. We just don't know when. We may see them in the next update or the next 2 updates coming forward. They are functional, but they're not skinned with different, featurettes. It's just the same person that is there, just holding different weapons. So we have the the look of what the chicken coop potential is. So it looks kind of promising. So realistically, with the new mechanics coming for I guess version 4, I'm stoked and interested because it looks like they have been looking at the modding community and borrowing heavily off of them to flesh out the game that most of us have been wanting to have. The other projects that have been on the wayside uh, may not come through at the moment because they're going in a completely different direction and they're going to be sticking only in the version 1 type of the game. So that is what it is. So the game that we were playing that had the weird scorpions and shit, it looks like they're going to keep within that universe that they have outside of the structure of the restructure of 7 days, which is it's fine. uh, but yeah, that is the that's the unfortunate thing. uh, Lastly, Metokur, apparently he's streaming.
Yes, he is.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch or skim through the last Metokur stream. I will say yes, he has returned to form.
Yeah. What I ended up getting Purity Sin on with me
Nice.
Saturday, last Saturday for a bit. And
Nice.
both me and her kind of agree. It's like, he's a lot more chipper now.
Yes.
He has a lot of his energy back.
Yes.
He's got that campiness back to him.
Uh-huh.
And that laugh.
No, and I'm happy that he's kind of walked away a little bit from the actual political portion of his because I was getting kind of bored of it. Uh, I I I can handle it like once in a while, but he was just doing every stream another political stream. I'm like, dude, you have other things to get into. Get back. I mean, his roster that he had of people being the silly shit has been. I've been waiting for that to be brought into light because these are well-known things and their story has progressed, but he's been just really focused on governmental shit. I'm like, dude, you're missing out on the real yucks. I'm getting kind of bored. And the last stream, I was busy with IRL shit, work being one of them. It kind of, I was like, well, I'll get to what I can because one, I came home late. Two, he streamed a bit earlier than normal because normally he does a 7 p.m. his area stream, and it turned out to be 6, so he's an hour earlier than normal. Uh, so he's got a different time period. He's not doing the morning with Metokur, which is that I had a challenge with, but I was able to watch most of it or listen to most of it while I was going to work, and then catch the rest of it after the fact because I was able to pick up afterwards. So it was kind of a thing. But yeah, no, I'm intrigued with him continuing with this direction. I hope he sticks with it
Yeah.
because
I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna hold, but it's another silly people set.
no,
And
I
I
know.
think it's a new thing he's doing. Is like
I'm
silly
hoping.
people,
Yeah.
silly people on Saturday.
No, I'm hoping that he sticks with it because that's basically what he did with the morning with Bedecker. He stayed away from political stuff and like a large swath of minor political things here and there, fine. Having it as the mainstream, boring as fuck. Um, don't get me wrong, I'm a person who likes politics, but even I kind of go, you know what? There's too much of it. Can we just kind of tap out and just focus on other things for a little bit? Please, because even if you notice the way I've kind of restructured a little bit, I've kind of gone away from heavy doses of politics. I'll bring in politics once in a while, but it's huge swath of gone. Like I could have talked about the 250 that you guys are having, and the weird drama that's coming out of it, which is multiple different areas of drama. That the 250 may not be going the way how President Trump wants to have it. It's going to go in a completely different direction. Hell, even the UFC fight that is on, it's also off. It's in a weird limbo state of limbo where it's happening but not happening. certain fighters have opted out, and other fighters have opted in, but it's questionable whether it's going to continue. But the arena that have been built, there's a lot of questionabilities behind it. But regardless of the factor, there's all of that can be covered, but I'm not really covering it. And it's the same thing with other
You
issues.
you been keeping up with the Lego bullshit that's been happening?
I have.
So
That is
so
that is interesting.
I've covered it extensively with Akko, and I don't know if you've seen my timeline on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen my takes and stuff like that. I'll tell you my take in a minute, but I want to know, what is your overall opinion on that whole deal? Well, first, what do you know of it, and what is your overall opinion?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the reckless Ben shares, or was it the reckless Ben, or Ben? I forget the actual YouTuber. We're focusing on him. Then that's a completely different thing. If we were talking about the missing Lego saga, that's a whole different area as well, because that was covered by what's his face, CoffeeZilla. Because there's like a Lego theft that happened of over 200K. Uh, there is a few other different issues with Legos that has happened, but yeah, be specific, because there's at least 5 different Lego dramas. I think the bed thing is the is where you had people coming in.
So
Is that? Hold on.
so hang on.
I was going to give me a second here. Is
All right.
that where there's a Lego shopkeeper that Lego has decided that their collection is is theirs, and they've been selling off the collection without recouping their losses, the actual the store's losses?
All right. So CopyZilla video
Yes.
came after all this,
Okay.
and CopyZilla's video is a I wouldn't say side effect, but it came about because of the Reckless Ben videos and stuff.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
So the Reckless Ben video came out last month on 28th
yes.
to expose Brooks and Minifigs for the whole shins, for stealing $200,000 worth of Legos.
Yeah.
When-
yeah. So I am kind of.
But
right.
here's the problem.
Uh.
The sets were never valued at $200,000. The sets were valued in total of about $107,000.
Okay. Okay.
Along with that, about a quarter to a quarter and a half of those sets weren't even in the possession of the Bricks and Minifigs store or Crystal. That was a set that was in storage that Brian had that had a private sale to another person. Along with that, the other sets that were on consignment to the store, half of them did get sold.
Okay.
But half those proceeds never made it to Brian. The other half, split in half of them are accounted for by Brooks and Minifigs. The other half on limbo, and that's on Crystal's end. So in generality, Brooks and Minifigs themselves are only really accountable for about $20,000 at most.
Okay.
So, but the whole thing came about because Reckless Ben video. Oh my God, they stole $200,000. Problem is, Reckless Ben legitimately has broken several laws.
I kind of figured he did.
In exposing them, including taking their trademark logo, making their own business with it, using that as the slogan, but the actual business being "we sell from old people."
All right.
Utilizing the trademarked logo itself. That's one. Second one, holding a Ben calls it a legal lottery,
Uh.
but it wasn't legal. He's went through and did all the paperwork and did a
That's what- yeah,
mishmash of, hey, you give me $1 for the ticket,
Yeah.
but I'm not giving you a ticket. I'm giving you $1 back as the ticket holder.
Yeah.
Along with the prize that they're giving away, a Lego set that they want to technically say is in their possession because it's in consignment, but the problem is they physically don't have that
Yeah. Okay.
item. So illegal lottery on that one. Another one, faking and swapping signatures of a contract.
Okay.
So Ben thought it would be a good idea because he was trespassed from the area, from the place. And to get around this, he made a contract of his own for the business holder to sign, saying that they can't trespass him anymore. This contract allows him to be back on premises, and for every time that the cops are called, they owe him $5,000. And got them to sign it, but not as a contract, as in impersonating a mail office worker and having them sign for a package.
That's stupid. Yeah, no, I saw that. But that was stupid. I thought that was cancel as well.
And several other things.
Well, I mean, there is the, again, for Legos, you have there was like one dude who ended up stealing high-end Legos that was worth like $3,000, and that was in Oklahoma and Texas. There's the drama with the Brinklinks program. There was a drama with the Pokemon version of Legos. Hell, there was a drama with the Death Store shit, and now we're here to this one.
But end of the day, this is a prime example of everyone in this whole deal sucks.
Yes.
The only one in this whole deal that does not suck is the grandfather.
All right.
But the son who put the Legos into consignment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. And here's another one that I liked. So Brian sold his share of those Legos to Ben and 9 of his friends. So 10 people to, and here's the way it goes. So Ben and his 9 friends take out credit cards, withdraw $10,000 from those credit cards. Give it to, and they do this on camera too. So they take that money, give it to Brian, the owner of the Legos.
Wow.
And pay for their share of the Legos. And then they, different transaction, ask Brian to borrow that $10,000 back to pay off the credit cards.
Jesus Christ. Is that embezzlement?
Claim splitting.
Yeah.
It's claim splitting if it was one item. The Legos are not one item. It's individualized sets. So, and a lot of lawyers have speculated about this and talked about it. And it's really interesting what it comes to. But it wouldn't really be considered claim splitting. But it's shady as fuck, too. And it's like, at that point, Brian's been made whole.
Wow.
Brian's been made whole and has been given $100,000 that he then turned around and gave back to Reckless Ben and them.
Jeez.
But in that whole fucking deal, too, there wasn't but not even $20,000 unaccounted for.
Wow. Like I said, it's
and the whole deal, Bricks and Minifigs. And there's been a lot of legal fuckery with like the police department, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into that one because that actually has nothing to, and regardless of what people say, that has nothing to do with the Brooks and Minifigs. That has nothing to do with Ben. That doesn't have nothing to do with Brian. The police department being corrupt, it's its own fucking deal. I don't care. It has nothing to fucking do with it.
No,
But
that it's
along with that, Ben is being prosecuted now through 4 or 5 different things
wow.
legally, criminally prosecuted.
Wow.
Along with that, Brooks's Minifigs are suing Ben, Brian, and several other people in civil suit, including RICO claims that can actually be verified because they're all filmed in Reckless Ben's video.
Jesus Christ. See, I know. At the end of the day, basically,
And
it's fucked.
And Ben, what would make this better? What would put the cherry on top of the cake for that?
Let me see. So he's done forms of different prostitution.
No,
God damn it.
he's pro se.
It's really wow.
He's going at this pro se right now.
Jesus Christ. See,
And
I'm
he's
so
have,
you know,
and the law firm that Brooks and Minifigs has got, not including prosecutor side of it, but
yeah.
the law firm that Brooks and Minifigs has got, Dent Analysis.
Oh, jeez. All right, well,
The international, worldwide biggest fucking law firm out there.
No, I get that. So yeah, no, yeah. From what I understand, for the Brooks and Minifigs, they're kind of done at the moment. From what I remember, the store is kind of closed until further notice or forever. I don't know. Doesn't really care. I don't care either way. Oh,
Yeah, it's the most relevant information that you can get from the whole deal that's accurate to the point and what should have been done at the beginning is CopyZilla's video.
no, actually,
Technically, that's the only thing you need to watch.
no. Basically, that's what I said. I watched his video. Got most of the details. And so, but because I know there's so many different Lego dramas, I'm not going to be specific on which Lego drama there is because there's this current one which is like all over the place, and you have to be extra careful with how you approach it. I kind of took the CoffeeZilla approach to a point, kind of go, wait, is it the one where Ben's reckless stupidity and it's about the little shop that they're saying that or was being told or sold that they were losing all of their products and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, it is weird. It's a weird story because when you look at it, you're focusing on what corporate knew, what the inventory record was, and where the missing Lego value actually went.
Yeah, it's a whole fucking deal. Let me showcase this to you, and you just gotta watch this beginning. This not the beginning, but you gotta watch this portion of this video. Come on.
Legos, I think.
Nope, it was even before this, right here. I made a contract with Amanda that says Ben Schneider, should not be trespassed, in all of these legal words, for any circumstance whatsoever, and for literally any reason, they cannot trespass me. And it's effective for the next 10 years. But this only really works as a get out of jail free card if I can get Amanda to sign it. But how the heck am I gonna do that?
Yeah, that is I know the rest of the story. But yeah, no, it is a dumb. It was dumb.
If you go through and watch this fucking video, I guarantee it, you will be screaming at the fucking screen. I
was already kind of doing the whole "my brain is now hurting. Please stop. This is stupid." When I was doing the CoffeeZilla moment, okay, I'm gonna have to kind of go. Okay, I'm good. I've got the gist of this thing, but
guess what? Guess what? Other fucking big brain move Reckless Ben did.
Oh God, please.
Whenever it came down to a second video, and he put this out at the end of his second video, but he was being he found out that he was being prosecuted. He found out he was
Yeah.
all this other good stuff. What's the biggest brain move you think he can do at that point?
Well, it'd be his own lawyer.
Well, besides that one.
Deny everything. Deny. That's the other thing. Even though he has
No.
his record.
State that you're going to Mexico to
Oh, leave the
Dodge once.
Oh, so leave. Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, he could have went to Canada. No, he wouldn't be able to go to Canada. Because technically he's got a warrant. Yeah, so Mexico would be the most logical place. That dumb place, but oh wow.
But
Wow.
state that on
Uh,
video.
Yeah.
So
See, I don't
it's
feel-
like I've had a lot of people be really pissed off and angry at me because I'm not on Ben's side. Because
I'm not
my
on
take
Ben's
on
side either.
my,
He did the most stupidest things possible.
my take is I hope he fucking rots in prison.
Look, Ben created pretty much clickbait for the most part. So those who are on his side are on side of a person who pretty much lied from the beginning to the end, and has created not only problems for the
The family
store,
and everyone else.
but he's also created problems for anybody else that's attached to that, including Lego. And Lego's a huge franchise.
Legos already came out, so they have no ties to any of this.
No, but they're a huge franchise. If they really wanted to get themselves involved, that's again, if they wanted to, there could be an open door for them. But luckily for this, they're out of this conversation. But if they were brought into this conversation, Ben's really fucked.
Ben's royally fucked right now as it is.
I know. So I mean, he's fucked. But adding in more, especially a corporation with unfeathered amount of money, he is royally fucked. So I mean, yeah, he's already fucked the dog for making up a fucking story that has caught people.
Well, here's a 2-minute video. This came out today, and this is the court case, starting court case of his prosecution bill.
Oh,
Just listen to this.
all right.
All right, do you have Benjamin Schneider online?
Yes, sorry for the last time you called. I think I hit the wrong button and accidentally got in a private meeting with the prosecutor, but I'm here now.
Oh, that's fine. All right, we're here on case 261 ending 376, scheduled for a pretrial today. And are you representing yourself on this case, Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Okay, have you had a chance to speak with the prosecutor then?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Telford?
We need to continue with time for review video footage.
Do you need time to do video footage?
Yes, there's, the defendant claims that he gave some video footage to officers and so it's time to go with that.
Okay. Does that work for you, Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's all we need to go through on that one.
Yeah. I kind of agreed. I agree. He's an idiot. That's all I can say. He's an idiot. Yeah. No. A fool as their lawyer. Yes. I wish him the best of luck. He's not going to Nick Ricada himself out of this one.
No. I think he'd be better off if he got Nick Ricada as his fucking attorney.
Yeah, he probably would. Fuck.
It's a fucking train wreck. It's like
It is. But yeah, no,
I
it is a
can't.
fun watch. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for the everything kind of that's wrapped up and finalized before I kind of venture forward on this ice field of fuckery. Because
everyone in this sucks.
I agree. I'm mostly focusing my attention on Ben because he pretty much made this shitstorm happen, and I hope that he gets hit with every fucking book or every brick that's available in the level of courts.
I think he's got to get hit with every book and brick.
I hope so, but we have gone to the overtime just like we did the last time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm hoping Sparky did not get a lot of different copyright claims this go around because I did not use anything
was
featured
none.
today. I know, so far good. But I'm not going to promise that it won't happen again. Anyways, as usual, I'm going to give this beautiful bastard his last rites. I hate buttons. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck off.